Hi and welcome back. In this video we're going to take a look at the Weebly editor a little bit more, and also just to have a look at download options if someone's buying a product directly from the website. So in the previous videos we've looked at how these PayPal functions work, and how simple integration and using those URLs can make your payment process nice and smooth and get people to where they want to be. When someone's bought something, in this case I'm going to take them to the download page. Now this is a little bit difficult to kind of visualize, because obviously I'm creating this website at the moment along with the videos that are going with it now. So I obviously can't put them here because I'm recording them. But what I could do is to decide to lay this out in a very specific way. Now, your delivery options are entirely up to you. What will probably happen in this case, because some of the video files are quite large, is I'll put them into a couple of folders which will be zipped, and then someone can download those and access all the data. So there's lots of different ways of actually delivering your product. If you're just selling a simple ebook PDF without any heavy kind of other media associated with it, that's beautifully simple. You can just upload a PDF manual to the download page. So remembering from the previous video that PayPal is going to direct people to this page or your download page or wherever else you're sending them after the transaction. And the end result for them is they want to be able to get to the product that they've bought, and obviously, in the case of digital products, that needs to be done immediately. So, in the case of how you lay this out, let's just have a look at how we could do something with some modules. If I wanted to put a column module in there, because I'm going to put something on one side and something on the other, I can simply go here, bring the column module there, and wherever I place it on the page, it's going to insert it. And look, I can drag and resize the elements there. I can also decide if I want 2 or 3 or 4 columns. So depending on what sort of design layout you opted for, and also for what products or what things that you're putting together on here, you can put several of these in. So what I could do, I could put each one of these into an element there, and maybe put the text in on one side. So let's say, for example, I'm going to copy that. And I have found with the Weebly stuff, normally when you let's put the text box in there, because at the moment it's just a columns layout. There's no text editor. If I paste that, then you can see it's not quite exactly the same as that. Let's have a play around with the layout here, because I just want to show you how much functionality is in here. I'm going to put this text layout in between these two. So there we've got another text editor. So I'm going to put this at the top. I'm going to take the text out of here. So I'm literally highlighting it, copying, and then I'm going to go to there and I'm going to paste it. Now it's come up a little bit smaller, so I'm going to make it so it's the same as that. Now I don't need that, so let's try and have a bit of fun with this. On this editor now, you can see that I've got a box at the top there which is columns, this here which is where the main text is, and this one here as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this. You can see there's a handle above there. Okay, let's drag that one down. There we go. So what I've done, I've been just experimenting with layout on there, and I can put maybe an element here. So say there's the actual products that I want to put in there. What I need to do is I need to go and find on here, and over here you can see we've got something called file. I literally drag that up, okay, and if I want to open a file which is uploadable, then I can click on here, documents, go to the site, and then go to there and upload that. This is the actual chapter 1 report. As you can see, Adobe's resized it. I can just drag it up to there. Right, let's try it this way. Doesn't like that. Uploading the file. I should know, I've done this like several times already. But it's keeping it honest, I guess. There we go. So that's the free report. Okay, so I'm not going to edit this video. You know, stuff happens. And basically, depending on how you're packaging that, if none of this existed in terms of the videos, then it would simply be a case of that there. They go to the download page, and I would jazz the page up a bit, make it look like they're getting a bit more value. But at the end of the day, all there is simply a file for someone to download. So that's in a nutshell how you structure the download page, and also it gives you a chance, you know, to play with the editors, and you can see that, you know, it's pretty flexible. You can insert other media there. So I've got a video on the home page, and you know, you can embed audio in there, other documentation, you can put flash scripting and all that kind of stuff. All of this is known as what you see is what you get, or a WYSIWYG editor, which you've probably heard of. All it's doing is allowing you to add in an element and then to modify that in some way, so you can build the site how you see fit. And the thing I like about this is all trial and error. You know, there's nothing to say that that's going to end up looking like that. That won't be there because it's obviously not the right file. But in this case, it's giving you some options, and you can play with it and look at that and say, okay, yeah, I could see that would work and I could use that. But actually, I don't really like the layout of that, or that's not really looking good there. Maybe I should increase the font size to make it look a bit more substantial. And then you could duplicate that by putting in maybe another column. And you know, you can drag that across, insert it underneath, and then do the same again with the next part of the product. So say for example, I could put on here, you know, PDF manual, the online marketer's toolbox. Make sure you download yours here. Okay, beautifully noisy old keyboard. And you know, I don't really want that element in there, so it's a bulleted list or something. I can take that off and then just centralize that, or do something with that to make it look a bit more fun. And then the videos, I could put on here a text element into there, and that's in the next columns, and it'll load that in there, and we'll put on there download the videos here, and then obviously make that a bit bolder looking. Okay, so we can make it as big as we want, and we can change the font type if we want, the color, have all the usual sort of options for editing. Okay, make that bold maybe, so it looks similar to that, and you can copy and paste and then edit stuff as you see fit, and then do the same there. So I could maybe upload a zip file for the downloads. So if you're selling your own products off the page, as we say, is, you know, directly from the website, so far what we've got is the whole site structure linked up via Weebly. So they're giving us our platform, which we can modify, and then on this part here we've gone through the process of the payment structure, and we've directed people through to this page. Now I just want to show you something related to that previous part where I got the page elements from, because when I went to this page and this page for the PayPal, the pages are hidden in the navigation menu. Now I don't know if you remember from a previous video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to uncheck that and then save and edit it. And what you'll see is that now there's a link up here in the top level navigation which is showing that that is a clickable page. because of the way that the site's structured and the way that this business operates, there's no point having products and stuff like that, which is readily viewable, because it takes away the kind of the point of having a product there. It's a bit sort of defeating the object, really. So anyone can just go to the website and just go through and go, oh yeah, there's the download page, I'm going to download all the products. So obviously we don't want that. But what happens is, when you publish this page, that will be live. So I'm going to do that. We're going to look at this, and I just want to show you something else about how this works and talk about domain names. This is the domain name which Weebly have given the website. Okay, now it's telling me that the online marketers toolbox.net is also available. Now, I don't know what order you're looking at these, if you read the manual or you're just diving straight into the videos. They go hand in hand, so you should do both. I own the domain name onlinemarketerstoolbox.com. So that's fine. That's why they're not showing me that as available, but they think .net is a good domain name to have with this site, which is cool. Now, I paid $15 or $16 for my domain name, which is about the going rate. They will, if you click on this to continue, well, let's do it. Let's see what it comes up. They will probably tell you it's going to be like $30-something. It depends on the the level of the domain name, whether it's a .com, a .net, .org, or whatever. So you might be saying, oh, how comes these companies? There we go. Look, $67.90. How comes these companies are offering? Oh, that's for 2 years. All this kind of stuff. If I did 1 year, I'd pay $40. Well, I paid more or less a third of that, and I got a .com name. So they're making their money offering this free service, but charging that for a domain name. So I don't want that. I'll probably get an email from them now saying, oh, you looked at this but you didn't buy it. What happened? So they're using all the same marketing principles that we're using in our business as well. And what's going to happen is that website is going to be live at that web address. Now, the reason I'm showing you that is because I just want to clarify something on here. There's the domain. Sorry, there's the page that's active within the navigation menu. Now, if I click on that, okay, when I did the PayPal video, if the navigation was not showing that as a live page, I wouldn't have been able to get to this to find out what the actual URL is, the page name. I needed to know this. So what I'm going to say to you here is, make the pages that you need for PayPal active. So it means that you might have to log in and out a couple of times till you get everything in place how you want it, which is fine, there's no problem. All you need to do is just be prepared. So if you're looking at your PayPal and you look at that and say, okay, well, if I'm going to do this action or ask it to do that action, what do I actually need? What you might need to do is you might need to go and get this URL. Now you can see it says, there's the name of their kind of subdomain, plus then the Weebly.com URL, and then your physical page name. So now you've got that, you could copy it. Now I'm going to close the site down, and I just close that and it takes me back to the editor. And when you're going in through the PayPal structure, then you'd want to go through and right click and then paste that back in to make sure that that there's an actual full URL in there. You're not trying to guess it. That's where you're going to get the URL information from. Now I'm going to hide that again, save it and edit it, and then publish it. And as you can see, it's fairly reasonably quick process. And now when I come to the domain, you'll see that the navigation menu is blank. So that's where would be home, about, all the usual things that you usually see on websites. So that's gone, and the reason I don't want those there in general is because obviously one of them is going to be the download or the page that you send people to go and buy the product. So the last thing you want is that on the top of the navigation, because obviously you're not going to make any money. But you don't want to leave them there. So make sure that when you do that, you go back into your pages. Here you can see what type of page it is that they're hidden from navigation, and you can just check or uncheck that and then save and edit as you need to. Okay, so let's just go back to the home page one more time. So like I've said, really, all of this is extremely easy to play around with. I mean, kids can do this all day long. It's good fun. Play with the design elements and see how your page feels. You've got to put yourself into the shoes of the people that are, going to be landing on your page and looking at it. So, put yourself into that person's shoes, have a look at the site, see how it navigates, see if it will make sense, and then you can start checking for typos and things like that. And, so far we've got the platform there, we've got the PayPal integration. That's where we got the domain names from to put into the PayPal structure so that, people would actually be sent to the right places. And then make sure they're not active again so the pages are not in your navigation menu. You've got a download page as well, so you can modify that and make that appropriate for whatever it is you're selling. And that's pretty much it. So you've got a functioning business there, and what we need to do finally is just look at how we integrate something like the analytics. So in the next video we're going to have a look at Google and Google Analytics specifically, so you can set up campaign tracking and embed that in the site. Again, these are all technical terms, but the actual the detail of doing it isn't technical at all. So we'll have a look at that in due course. See you in the next video.